गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. Vedanta means Ved Anta. Anta you understand, and Veda is nothing but alphabets put together as words, words put together as meters, and through those meters and words, something is being conveyed to us. And this whole creation, everything that we know or don't know, that is creation. Manifestation or unmanifestation, that is creation. All that is known only through words. And therefore, when we say Vedanta, Vedanta, we have to initially bring about a condition wherein all the words in our mouth, all the thoughts in our mind, all the concepts, ideas in our intellect conclude. They don't erupt. That's the initial stage. It has to come about. We can't force it. And when all this objectivity, that is the whole world, when this entire objectivity concludes, goes back to its source, becomes unmanifest, what remains, which was always, which is at present, and which will continue to be. In other words, which has always been, but was as if covered due to the onslaught, due to the flux of concepts, ideas, thoughts, emotions. In other words, the objective approach, whether it is in the mind by way of thoughts and it is in the world by way of our senses, when this is curtailed, when this is dissolved, what remains is Vedanta. Another name for it is Upanishads. Another name for it is Atma. Another name for it is Brahman. The nature of all these is the same. Just as the nature of the mother, the nature of the wife, the nature of the daughter is the same. The woman, that is the basis, that is the solid reality. So when the words wife, mother, daughter, these subside, these dissolve, the objectification of these roles has melted away, then what remains? Only the woman remains, only the man remains. Exactly the same way, when all objectivity, manasa, vacha, kaya, manasa mind, vacha speech, kaya at the body level, sensory perceptions, which are validating the objectivity, when all these subside, what is left behind is not nothingness. What is left behind is not zero. What is left behind is not absence. Vedanta teaches us that you remain behind, and that you has always been, that you is the infinite, that you is the permanent one, that you has never come and never gone, is never born, can never die. Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swarupa. And therefore, when you think in this way, systematically, automatically, the statements of the Upanishads, Tattvamasi, you are that, start having meaning, start revealing what they stand for, what they are talking about, what is pregnant in those words, you are that. Studying Vedanta, when it is objective, we go to the scriptures, Upanishads. When it is subjective, Upanishad is not objective. We think Upanishad is in the book. We think Upanishad are the words. But what did we just now say? Upanishad is not other than the self. Upanishad is not other than the reality. So what does it tell us? That while studying the Upanishads, we have to go beyond the words. Now, as we become available to it, same thing will express in our life while living in the world, transcend the world. While moving in the world, Be the unmoving principle. While seeing, hearing, touching, feeling, tasting, be the witness of what is going on. If that is taking place, then we don't have to open a book. It has clicked from inside. Every experience, every event, every interaction, we are not against it. We are not for it. We are not retaining it as a memory. We are allowing the phenomena to take place even right now. And recognizing that this phenomena is there. Initially the witness, you are the witness, and somewhere along the way there is an unspeakable, unthoughtable disposition that I am other than all that this is going on. And when by God's grace this clicks, that I am watching all this going on, the truth of the matter is, you are always the witness, you are always the watcher, you are always the observer. But when mind calms down, then alone this becomes your direct experience that you are the watcher, that you are the observer, that you are the witness. It becomes evident to you as to who you are. Otherwise, before we were thinker, we were listener, we were meditator, we were seeker. When the mind calms down, it becomes evident. We are the awareness. That is Vedanta. And this self, this unchanging self, if you coolly notice, it has never come and gone. It has never gotten old. It has got no desires. It is not healthy or sick. All these are happening to something else. Body, breath, mind, world. But I am the same. And as this starts revealing, just as a bud doesn't give that much fragrance, but when it opens up, oh, the fragrance is awesome. We can't force the bud to open into a flower. You force it open, the petals will break, the flower will be lost, no fragrance or temporary fragrance. But we allow this bud of consciousness to slowly open with the correct approach, by being the self, by not objectifying the self, etc. This bird blooms into a beautiful flower. The example ends there. Don't start analyzing, but its fragrance is not all pervasive, flower is only in one place, etc. etc. We are not going in that direction. So let the only thing that is stopping the revelation of consciousness that I am is our insistence to objectify it. And that expresses as words and thoughts. And see how beautifully our rishis and saints of yore, that Lord Himself, He has termed it Vedanta, where all words end. Last 2 days we have been seeing how we relax the body, breath, mind, and come back to the conscious principle. Today we'll see another approach. That approach is the world of names and forms is only because there is something called I. The job of the I is, the principle in the I is vision. This vision illuminates all the colors and forms. So vision and colors and forms are coexisting. Where are the colors and forms happening? They are happening on your retina. Is the eye, the physical eye, disturbed by the colors and forms coming and going? No. Is it attached to any color and form? No. Then can a dead person see through his eyes? No. Eyes are inert. Then what is making them? Who is seeing through them? It is the mind. For whom are the eyes taking the stimuli in? For the mind. So mind is the cause. First, eyes are the cause, world is the effect. Because ears are there, therefore the sounds are there. If there are no ears, there is no sound. Because the senses do not see for themselves, hear for themselves, smell for themselves. The data is accessed by someone else. They are merely the windows. So when our attention goes, for whom is all this data? We say mind. Is the mind having favoritism towards seeing, towards the eyes, towards the ears, towards the nose. No. It is equanimous to all the five. Each one is bringing it in, and the mind is just accepting the data. He has no choice. It is coming. How does that data come to the mind? By way of thoughts. Is the mind attached to the thoughts? We're not talking from individuality point of view. We are talking from the principle of mind point of view. Is the mind attached to the thoughts? No. Because from birth till today, so many thoughts have come, and so many thoughts have stayed, and so many thoughts have gone. And that principle of coming, staying, and going is happening right now also. So mind is not attached to the thoughts appearing, staying, and disappearing, to the thoughts manifesting and unmanifesting. Is the mind thinking for himself? No. Is the mind having emotions for himself? No. Then for whom? Mind is only a container. Mind is only a platform where everything is coming and going. And for whom is it? Then our attention goes deeper into ourselves. Oh, it is for the I. When we come to the I, is the I affected by the mind? If we take the entire gamut of the mind, it can be divided into waking, dream, and deep sleep. And at a very subjective level, it is appearance of thought and disappearance of thought. Is this I, can this I identify with any thought? Has it ever been able to identify with any thought and stay with it? Can it stick itself to it? Can it retain it? Can it store it? Can it stop the thought from not going away? Can the I call it mine? We are looking at it from principle point of view. The I knows the thoughts are there, but it is our experience that I has never identified with any thought, because it is not in the capacity of the I to hold on to the thought. Yes, the I in the intellect and the thoughts in the mind, the idam, they coexist. I is I because there is thought objects. But if there are no thought objects, they are continuously going away. Suppose a condition comes about that there are no thoughts. What will I do? What will happen to this I, which was before saying, I am seeing, I am hearing? Was the I saying, or it was someone else? Technically, I appears with every thought, and the I disappears, meaning I thought, disappears with every other objective thought. And when there is no objective thought, then there is no reason for I thought also to appear. Then what happens to the I? The I goes back to the original. If there is no water, what will happen to the reflection? It's just a way of explanation. It will go back to original. Or we can say the reflection was never there in the first place. It was only an appearance. So this I and that, aham and idam, they are coming and going with every thought, because the nature of every thought is subject plus object plus the instrument. Till now we were thinking we are the seer, hearer, toucher, thinker, etc. But now suddenly I am the witness of this phenomena. Our attention shifts to the life principle. Our attention shifts to the Chaitanya Vastu, to the life itself, which is in whose presence the thoughts are coming and going. And these thoughts, where did it, whose expression were they of? They were the expressions of the life itself. The life is the Chaitanya Vastu. Or I should say Chetana, which is another word for it is reflected consciousness. Without, and that reflect consciousness is just the same. It has never broken. Whose reflection is it? It is the reflection of the original. When we come to this reflected consciousness, we are in Samadhi. this reflected consciousness is not one per person. It is one alone. Just as the sun or the moon are one, their reflection in the water is one, but when waves appear, they cover that reflection and we see many reflections of light through every wave. So are there many reflections? But it appears as many reflections of light, sparkles on the ocean. Those sparkles on the ocean are on account of the various waves. When there are no waves, there is only one reflection. Exactly the same way. There is only one reflected consciousness. Not my reflected consciousness is separate to your reflected consciousness is separate to your reflected consciousness. We can do the analysis till here. And come to be that general reflected consciousness. And it is only when you come to this point, when the scriptures roar, Tattvamasi, you are that. The reflected consciousness doesn't see, goes back, if we can use that word, goes back to the original. This cannot be brought about. This happens. It is a recognition. It is a discovery. The quality, attributes, shape, is one and the same of the original and the complete reflection. Slowly taking a deep breath in. If you want to. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Move your toes, move your fingers, move your shoulders, move your neck, left, right, up, down. And don't retain the memory of the meditation. Offer it to the Lord. Hari Om. Oh, कोई आया नहीं है क्या? दिव्या है, इंग्रिड नहीं आई है. क्या?
No, she was asking time.
अभी ब्रेकफास्ट के लिए चलते हैं, फिर 9 बजे आ जाएंगे.